So is it visible?
Yes, sir. It
Yes,
is
sir.
visible.
Yeah. So the topic what I have chosen today is adaptive filtering and control algorithms for grid integration of PV systems. So the outline of my presentation will follow this sequence. I will be speaking on the basic introduction of this control of the PV system, and then three control algorithms that we developed and implemented for the grid connected photovoltaic system by employing advanced adaptive control techniques. These are basically using some filtering techniques, and those are leaky LMS, that is leaky least square mean square, least mean square algorithm. Another is the robust least means least square algorithm, and then another is the sigmoid least logarithm based algorithm. So these are the adaptive filtering algorithms. Those are used for designing the adaptive control for the grid connected photovoltaic system. And then I will speak about some concluding remarks. So all of us know that the photovoltaic system is very much popular nowadays in harnessing the power by exploiting the renewables. And while this photovoltaic system is very popular, so the different topologies uh, of this photovoltaic system um, basically are the standalone system where this is not connected to grid. And the second one, if you see second and third one, this figure and this figure, they represent the PV system connected in the grid connected mode. And the basic difference in the bottom two, these two topologies, that is for the grid connected ones. One is the single stage configuration, the second is a double stage configuration. So the single stage configuration is one where we do not have more stages of power conversion, that is directly from the photovoltaic source. We use a uh, inverter and thereafter connecting this to the grid. So there is only one stage of power conversion. But on the other hand, when there is the solar irradiance is very small, low irradiance scale situation, we may incorporate one power conversion stage to raise the voltage to certain higher level, and then have second level of the conversion. So the double stage PV system, grid connected PV system involves two stages of power conversion. So this is the first one that is there is no connection to grid. This is a standalone one, and maybe sometimes you have a battery there that you can actually charge and discharge during the either the PV system or from the DC bus itself. So the control challenges for this grid connected PV system, which is very popular, involves several tasks. So one is the extraction of maximum power from the panels during the changes in the irradiance, that is falling upon the panels, and also to exchange power from the grid connected system, the PV system to the grid, to the grid at unit power factor, and also to mitigate the harmonics. Those are produced because of the nonlinear loads connected at the point of common coupling. Also the harmonics that arise because of the usage of the inverters. Also, we'll have a challenge how to balance the grid currents during the unbalanced load conditions. And then during the unavailability of the PV power, how to exploit the voltage source converter for actively using the power that is generated from the PV source. So having these controls challenges in mind, so we must be ready to design some kind of algorithms, control algorithms to accomplish these tasks. So as you know that when we connect a renewable system to the grid, we must obey certain grid codes. And these grid codes are basically, there are several factors they are to be taken care of. And one of the factors is for example, the TSD, the total harmonic distortion should be less than 5%. And the power factor at 50% of the rated power should be around 0.9. And the frequency variation, that is 59.3 to 60.5 hertz, if it is a 60 hertz frequency. And then we have this is IEEE 154.154.7 grid code that says about the current injection also should be less than 0.5% of the I0. So the also there is a mention on the grid code about the different harmonics. For example, the third harmonics, and then the odd harmonics that should be less than 25%. And then we have the harmonics level, that is 3 to 9, that is less than 4%, 11 to between 2%. And these are the different harmonic orders. One must be careful that not only the TSD but also different harmonic order should be within the prescribed limit. So the first control that we are designing is the one that employs a modified Leakey LMS algorithm. So what is that algorithm? I will discuss little later. But the purpose here is to develop an adaptive control by using this adaptive filtering algorithm, which is called modified Leakey LMS algorithm. And that basically the objective here is to extract the fundamental active and reactive component of the nonlinear currents, load currents, and then to extract the maximum power from the PV modules and inject the same to the grid at unit power factor. And compensation of the harmonics injected by the nonlinear loads connected at the point of common coupling while maintaining the grid currents balanced and sinusoidal. Also, it is necessary to utilize the voltage source inverter during the night when the PV power is not available. So these are the objectives for designing this fast control that employs the modified Leakey least mean square adaptive algorithm. So this is the proposed control scheme where the objective is to have all these 5 functions. One is so basically you want to connect the PV system to the utility grid by several approaches. One of the approaches of interest is instead of using the zero crossing detector, so we could use the unit templates for the synchronization. So these I will tell you a little later about these unit templates that are to be extracted, and then the maximum power point tracking control, and also the evaluation of DC and AC loss component. I will tell you what is that. Extraction of the fundamental components and estimation of reference grid current. So these are the 5 tasks that are accomplished here. This is the one where the extraction of unit templates and amplitude of the grid voltage. This task. Then the second task is basically the one here is the MPPT operation by using the incremental conductance method. And the third task of interest is to evaluate the DC and AC loss component by using the PI controllers. And then fourth task is to estimate the fundamental reactive component of the load current. And the fifth task is basically to estimate the reference grid current so that we can use that to control the current controller, where the switching pulses S1 to S6 are used to control the voltage source converter. And for that, what is important? We need to sense the to generate the reference grid current, that is IGABC star. We sense different voltages like PV voltage and current, VPV and IPV. We also measure the sense the grid line voltage at the PCC, that is VAB and VBC. The point of common coupling is here. Okay. And we have the 3-phase grid currents. We have the 3-phase grid currents like, IG, ABC. So we measure all those currents, the grid currents here. And we have the load currents, three load currents, ILABC, ILABC, the load currents. So these are the load current, ILABC, non-load connected at the point of common coupling. So, so this is the block diagram. This is the schematic of the control for the photovoltaic system connected to the utility grid with all these signals sensed to generate the reference grid current and then to accomplish all these five tasks. So we'll discuss all these five tasks. So the first task is to the extraction of unit templates for synchronization. So we sense the three-phase PCC line voltages, that is VAB, VBC, and VCA may not be necessary because with VAB, VBC, we are able to find out the voltages VGA and VGB and VGC using these formulas. So once you get these three voltages, that is VGA, VGB, and VGC, the grid voltages. So then what you can do, you can estimate the peak amplitude of the phase voltages using this formula. So then by using this formula, we have the two type of unit templates. One is the in-phase templates and the other is the quadrature unit templates. So this is the phase voltage, different phase voltage, phase A, phase B, phase C. And these are the two unit templates. One is the in-phase, this is the blue one, and the red one, this is the quadrature unit templates. So, and the second control objective is the maximum power extraction from the panels. So we design a incremental conductance algorithm, which is very popular. So what it does, we compute at the maximum point, the MPP point, the dPV by dVp. So then what happens to the left of MPP and right of MPP, these relationships should hold good. So therefore, what we do is we employ this kind of algorithm to implement the maximum power tracking. So we initialize these variables, the voltage and the current of the panels, and then compute the change in voltage and change in current. And thereby we compute this VDC star if the change in the PV voltage is zero and change in the PV current is zero, or this conductance is this one. Similarly, VDC star L, if the change in the PV voltage is zero and the change in the PV current is greater than zero. So these are the different decisions we put, and then we update this VPV, IPV, and the reference VCDC reference, and at this current instant of time and previous instant of time. So till we get all these conditions satisfied, so then we are ultimately we want to get the reference voltage CDC star. So then the evaluation of the DC loss component, we design a PI controller that basically controls the VX loss or the DC loss component. That is basically the previous sampling instant, the DC loss component, and then this is the gain of the PI controller, proportional gain, and this is the integral gain of the controller. And then this is basically, this is the proportional gain and this is the integral gain, and this is the difference. Okay, this is the error signal. And this, then as you know that these we measure IPV and VPV, and by using the incremental conductance method, we get the reference voltage, the V star CDC, and then we have the actual voltage. To compare that error is used to maintain by using a PI controller to estimate this DC loss component. And this DC loss component need to be drawn from the source. So if the loss component is not drawn from the source, it will be supplied by the DC capacitor and DC bus voltage will then fall. So therefore, we have to estimate the DC loss component. We also estimate the AC loss component the same way, like as I told you earlier that we have the two voltages, that GTV and GTV star. GTV star is the reference voltage. So that is taken as 340 volt. And GTV, as I told you, we can measure GTV here, GTV here, the VT, and then from here we get the So this GTV is the VGTV, the voltage, the um, this is the AC loss component reference. So we compare these two and get the error signal. And this is another PI controller that is used to maintain the AC loss component. And this GTV, the integral gain, and PTV, the proportional gain. And this is basically used to maintain or regulate the grid terminal voltage. Okay. Then the third aspect that is more important, which is basically controlled by employing an adaptive algorithm called modified Leakey LMS algorithm, in which we measure these load currents, and we need an adaptive control that find out these VXA, VXB, and VXC. So once we are interested to estimate the fundamental component, okay, of the grid current. So then what you do is that so this cost function we defined as JL, that is this error signal. What is the error signal? The error signal is basically the load current and the unit template and this voltage XAL. So the fundamental active component of the load current, the phase A. So we can do that phase B also. Similarly, this is the reactive component. So then we get the corresponding errors. So these are the error signals. Okay. So the error vector comprises the two error components, the active and reactive, and all these are contained in this cost function of the modified Leakey LMS algorithm. And then this is the block diagram of the modified Leakey LMS algorithm, where we have the load current and we have this the VAL, that is the this VAL, and then this is compared and with VAL multiplied by this unit template. So this is your error signal, and then this is the formula. So the iteration is like that. So the fundamental active component is VXA. The previous sampling time is VXA. This is L plus 1. And then this is sine hyperbolic. This is the error. So by this it is, so this is translated into this block diagram. So now the how to estimate the reference grid current. For that, the average weight of the fundamental active and reactive load current we want to find out by using this formula. The fundamental, this is the active weight of the fundamental active and reactive load current. So VXA, the VXB, and VXC. So you get this one. So similarly, this is the reactive component. So these are the this is the block diagram. So here the additional stuff is this, the AC loss component. So according to the considered direction of the grid current, the load and the loss components are responsible for the power expenditure at the PCC, hence giving a positive sign, and PV feed forward component of a negative sign, since PVR injects power at the PCC. So this is basically the negative sign. So the total weight of the fundamental active and reactive component of the reference grid current can be estimated by using this formula, that VTX, the total weight, is VAX plus VX loss minus VPV. Okay, so this is the total weight of the fundamental active and reactive component of the reference grid current. So this is the active and this is the reactive. So so this VPVL is 2 PVL by 3T, the PV feed forward component, which provides fast dynamic response and on the PI controller. The estimation of the reference grid current. So you have the active reference grid current are calculated like this. Once you get your VTX, VTX, and VTX. So these are the like the A, B, C, the 3 unit templates. So the corresponding the reference grid current you can estimate. These are reference estimates. And we have similarly the reactive reference grid current calculated with the unit template quadrature form. And therefore the reference grid currents are then calculated as the vector sum or the phasor sum of these two for A, B, C phases. That is the active and reactive components. So then we want to generate the gate pulse for the VCA, the voltage source converter, so that we know the reference grid current and these are the measured grid currents. And then we get the error signal. And this is the hysteresis current controller, and by which we generate the getting pulses by the hysteresis current. The width of this hysteresis current controller is considered as 0.01 and is fed with the error signal of the grid current like that. So that means the error signal is the reference minus the actual. So here the IG is the reference grid current and IG is the actual grid current. So to ensure the stability of this controller, what we do is we plot the Bode diagram, and this is the DC bus transfer function, and this is the PI controller. Just now I said. So this is the feed forward path with the PI and this the DC bus, this transfer function. So this DC link transfer function and the PI regulator transfer function. And after plotting the Bode plot, we could see that the phase margin is 89.1 degree and it is positive. So therefore the system is stable. So we pursue a simulation for studying this effectiveness of this controller by employing, as I said, one is the active reactive power component estimation, and then reference grid current estimation by the modified Leakey LMS and the incremental conductance, and all these AC/DC loss component by the PI controllers. So all these tasks are basically one controller that we want to simulate. So the parameters, these are the parameters for PV module parameters used for the simulation study. That is the voltage of the PV module. The maximum power is 29.97 volt, and this is the maximum the current at each PV module at maximum power 3.4 ampere, and we have the maximum power, open circuit voltage, short circuit current. We have the light generated current and the diode saturation current, diode idled factor. We have the sound resistance and series resistance. So these basically these are the current and power characteristic of the PV array at 1000 watt per meter square radiation. So there are 25 number of PV modules connected in series and 4 parallel strings. And as you could see, this is the short circuit current and this is the open circuit voltage. And this is the PMPP and this is the open circuit voltage. So the VMP is basically the voltage, the total, there are 4 strings, so therefore 749.3 volt, and IMP is 13.62 ampere. So therefore the PMP is basically VMP into IMP, that is 10.2 kilowatt. So the simulation result, what we do, we have taken this 10 kilowatt PV system and implemented this proposed controller using MATLAB and Simulink. We connect a nonlinear load of 3.2 kilowatt. That nonlinear load is basically a diode bridge rectifier and a series RL load. And we considered 3 different conditions. One is the steady state behavior with the nonlinear load. And the second condition is the dynamic behavior with unbalanced nonlinear load. And third one is the dynamic behavior with variable irradiance. So once you, these are the simulation, parameters taken. The different PI control gain for AC loss component, the learning rates for the adaptive filtering algorithm, the leakage factor, the sampling time. So once you simulate, these are the results we obtain. The results are as follows. So the maximum power is extracted from the PV array. You could see the maximum power is extracted from the PV array. So like this maximum power, PPV. Load active power demand is less than the available PV power. The load active power demand is less than the available PV power. And the grid active power is negative, grid active power. Yeah, negative, and 180 degree out of phase with grid phase voltage, implying the power is being injected to the grid. And this is negative. And grid currents are all sinusoidal. And the load currents are nonlinear, indicating harmonic, although the loads are nonlinear, but these are sinusoidal, and the load currents are nonlinear, indicating harmonic mitigation is possible here. We have achieved, and the grid reactive power is zero. You could see the reactive power is zero here, so that indicates that we achieve the unit power factor operation. And this is the case too for the dynamic behavior when we connect a unbalanced load. So what happens here is that at C equal to 0.55 second, phase C load is disconnected. So if the phase C load is disconnected, the load demand therefore reduces, and therefore injecting more power to the grid. And inverter current, which was previously balanced, becomes unbalanced because the C load is C phase load is disconnected, and the error component of phase C, uh, is zero. The error component is zero since the phase C load is zero, and no change is seen in the PV feed forward component. Uh, component since it does not load, so there is no change in the PV component. Okay, so these are the different results obtained during the dynamic behavior with nonlinear load. And this is the third condition where we consider a dynamic behavior during the variable irradiance. That means initially we have a 1000 up to this time, up to 0.55 second. The irradiance is 1000 square. Now at this time, 0.55 second, the irradiance has been changed from 1000 to 0. Now, therefore, this is the irradiance, this is the PV current, and this is the voltage, and this is the PV power has dropped down. Therefore, this is the grid current, and this is the grid power, and this is the reactive power. So the PV current, as you see, that dropped down to 0. The PV current has dropped down to 0, and load active power demand is now fulfilled by the grid. So now the PV is not able to supply the power that is needed by the load. So the grid is supplying the power to the load. Now here you could see that these are the voltages, the grid voltages. So these are the grid current, there's a change. And then this is the load current, and this load three-phase, the grid voltages, the reference voltages. So the voltage source converter compensates the harmonics. So there is harmonics is compensated by the voltage source. And if you consider this the oscillation in weights of the filter, you could see that the we compared with a least mean fourth algorithm and the proposed modified Leakey LMS algorithm. You see the red one the LMF, the least mean fourth, and the blue one is the modified Leakey LMS algorithm, and the oscillations are less in case of the modified Leakey LMS algorithm. And this is the comparison of the modified Leakey LMS, and LMF algorithm. As you could see that the TSD has gone down to 3%, and the oscillation is low, and this error is also low, mean square error in the simulation. Now, what happens here is that what we have done in the simulation, we want to verify that in experiment. So therefore, we want to develop an experimental setup with PV source and some DC bus capacitor, three-phase voltage source converter, and some DSpace microlab box 1202. We have some signal conditioning we designed for the voltage and current sensors. We have the computer for the interfacing to the microlab box for implementing the control. We have the point of common coupling connected to the linear and nonlinear loads. We have the ripple filter, and we have a three-phase grid. And then we have the current sensor that measures the load current, grid current, PV current, and grid voltage sensor, the measures grid voltage and PV voltage. So this is the picture of the prototype PV system developed in the laboratory that is connected to the grid. As you could see that this is a Semicron make voltage source converter. We have the micro lab box, and these are the data acquisition circuit, and this is the PV emulator, and we have the ripple filter. This is the power system analyzer, and we have a PC connected to this DSpace, and we have the RL load and the diode bridge rectifier, and we have the DSO to measure this, and this three-phase auto transformer connected to the the grid. Okay, so this is the experimental result. What we have done is we have taken this PV emulator to emulate the IV and PV characteristics, and we could see that by virtue of this control, the maximum power extracted is 99.4%, and that is the 1599.6 watt out of 1610. So the experiment we consider 1610 watt, and then out of that 1599.6 watt is extracted. So this is the system parameter like the VMP, IMP, and we have the filter resistance and capacity and inductance. We have the AC regulator gain and the PI gains, and we have the leakage factor and sampling time. So these are the experiments. What we do in experimental result is that so we have this grid voltage, grid current, and we have the load current and load. So these are the load currents at steady state, and we have the corresponding like grid voltages. So we could see that the grid active power is 180-degree out of phase with the grid voltage. Phase voltage implying power is being injected to the grid. And we could see that the grid currents are sinusoidal. Grid currents are sinusoidal, although the load currents are nonlinear, indicating that we are able to mitigate the harmonics. And this is the experimental result that is for the steady state behavior with nonlinear load. We could see these are the voltage and current waveforms of the grid at the load side at steady state. And these are the parameters of the grid and load side at the steady state. We could see here that the power loss in the voltage source converter is we have this much of extracted power, and we have that 1523.33 this much of power. So this is the power loss. This is being sent to the grid. So this is the power loss 76.27, and we have the efficiency that is of this PV system is 94.6%. So we have the power factor is close to unit, and we have this apparent power almost same as the active power in each page. And these are basically the experimental results. And we have the steady state behavior with nonlinear load. These are the some of the waveforms captured by the DSO, the waveform of the grid and load side at steady state. And these are the waveform of PV and intermediate signal at steady state. And these are the TSD of the grid current. And this is the load current. The TSD is around 26. And here the TSD has come around how much? The TSD is 2 points something, 2.78, 798. Okay. So the load, so the 798, the grid currents are still sinusoidal, and the unit power factor is achieved through the load current, though the load current is nonlinear, and voltage at the DC bus is maintained at a constant value of 600 volt. The TSD of the grid current is 2.798%, and TSD load current is 26.432%. So this is the experimental result during the dynamic response on the variable irradiance case, where you could see that this is the VDC, this is the IPV, and this is the grid current and load current, and this is the waveform of the grid current, load current, and the error signal and EXC. We have the waveforms of these loss components and PV and the total voltage, the weight, total weight, active weight. So the irradiance is changed from zero, changed to zero here. So therefore the VDC drop down and settles the set value, and the grid which was previously taking power now starts delivering power to the load, because the irradiance has gone down. The irradiance is changed to 0 and VSC compensates the harmonics injected by the load current. And this VPB depends upon the irradiance is gradually drops to 0 as irradiance is. So therefore this has gone to 0. And the VTX changes from negative to the positive value, indicating the power is being delivered by the grid. This is the experimental result during the unbalanced nonlinear load. So here these waveforms, they are basically the DC voltage, grid current and load current. And we have the waveform the error signals and the different intermediate signals. And these are the loss components. And C phase load is disconnected. So therefore the grid current increases but remain balanced. This is the grid current. And voltage at DC bus is seen to remain constant. And you could see that as phase C load is disconnected, the VXC, EXC, and hence sine hyperbolic XC becomes 0. And also there is no change in VPV since it independent of the load. So Vx not 0 since there is load demand by other two phases. Okay. And the summary of this controller is that we this proposed modified Leakey LMS controller based adaptive controller, we consider its efficacy in 3 different conditions: nonlinear loads, unbalanced load, and during variable irradiance. And we compare its efficiency with respect to 2 adaptive algorithms. One is LMS and LMF. And the simulation and experimental results show the dynamic response of the modified Leakey LMS algorithm is better than the conventional LMS and LMF least mean force algorithm. And the oscillation in filter weights and the TSD of the grid current in case of the proposed modified Leakey LMS algorithm based adaptive control is lower than the least mean square and least mean force algorithm based controllers. And the TSD of the grid current is found to be 2.923%, which is well within the standards as prescribed by the IEEE 519 grid code. So having developed that controller and implemented the same in simulation and experiment, we then tried to improve the convergence of this adaptive filtering algorithm by introducing a variable step size in the adaptive filter. So this proposed control scheme, everything remains the same. Only we modified this. We have employed a variable step size, list mean list square based adaptive algorithm. And the objective here is to develop a variable step size, robust least mean least square based adaptive control for accurate extraction of the fundamental active and reactive components of nonlinear load currents, and to extract maximum power from the PV modules and injecting the surplus PV power at unit power factor to the grid, and to compensate the harmonics injected by the load, nonlinear load connected to the point of common coupling while maintaining the grid current balance and sinusoidal, and to effectively utilize the voltage source converter during night when the PV power is not available. The only change I am discussing here, the variable step size robust robust algorithm. So what we do here is that we use the cost function here. This cost function is 1 by beta log 1 plus beta the error square, where the weight of the fundamental active component, that is XAA, is updated using this adaptive filtering algorithm. And we use a variable step size rho L, that is rho L equal to rho I, rho EL, where we use the rho EL as the standard deviation of the error signal. And this EXL is basically updated. The adaptive component of the error is the load current minus the in phase quadratic unit template and the corresponding weight. So that basically is here, the EXL. So by using this cost function, this is the weight updation algorithm used in the adaptive algorithm, that is basically the variable step size robust least means least square based control algorithm. So here the simulation is performed in the same 10 kilowatt PV system, and the load is 3.2 kilowatt diode bridge plus RL load. And the three conditions we consider here: the steady state with nonlinear load, dynamic condition with variable irradiance. One irradiance case we considered 1000 to 800 watt meter square, and second to zero irradiance. And the third condition, the dynamic condition, is with the unbalanced nonlinear load. And these are the different parameters used for the simulation. That is the scaling factor beta x and scaling factor for the reactive one beta y, and we have the indirect parameter of the variable step size 0.032. We have a sampling time 6 microsecond. So these are the simulation results we obtained during a irradiance change from 1000 to 800 watt per meter square. And here at t equal to 0.5 second, there is a change of irradiance from 1000 to 800 watt per meter square, and it is maintained till 0.55 second. So this is the irradiance. Available power from the PV gets therefore reduced to 8.16 from 10.2 kilowatt, and active power injected to the grid reduces to 4.96 active power 4.96. Okay, and then from 7 kilowatt, and the grid current is reduced but is 180-degree out of phase. The grid current is reduced and it is 180-degree out of phase with the grid phase voltage. You see here, implying power is being injected to the grid. So grid reactive power is 0, meaning we are achieving the unit power factor operation. Now this is the simulation result that we obtained during zero irradiance condition. That means at t equal to 0.6 second, we have reduced the irradiance to 0 from 1000 watt per meter square. Therefore, the PV current drops to 0, and therefore the available power from the PV is 0. And the active power therefore delivered by the grid is 3.2 kilowatt, and grid current is in phase with the grid voltage. And the voltage source converter mitigates the harmonics, and the VPV drops to 0. The irradiance is dropping to 0 watt per meter square. And VTX changes from negative to positive, indicating the power is being delivered by the grid because there is no PV power generated. So this is the simulation result we obtained during the unbalanced and nonlinear load at t equal to 0.55 second. We have the phase C disconnected. Phase C load is disconnected, and therefore the load demand reducing because of this, and leading to more power is being injected to the grid. And inverter current, which was previously balanced, now becomes unbalanced because of this disconnection. Error component and weight component of phase C are becoming 0 because phase C load is 0. No change is seen in the PV feed forward component since it does not depend on the load current. So these are the results we obtained with the something happened. Yeah. So what happens is that we compare the efficacy of this variable step size robust least mean square algorithm. So here what happens, we could see, we compare this oscillation in weights in the active components for different adaptive algorithms. One is this modified Leakey LMS that we discussed first, and then variable Leakey, and then least mean fourth, and the proposed variable step size one. You could see the purple color one that represent the variable, the black one is the proposed one that has exhibited least oscillation in the active components, the weight components. And if you evaluate the efficacy of this variable step size adaptive filtering algorithm with some other adaptive filterings like least mean fourth variable leaky LMS, modified leaky LMS. We could see the complexity in case of this proposed one is less, where L represents the filter length and LW represents the estimation length of the estimation window. And the oscillation in weight is low, and TSD in the grid current has been reduced to 2.7%. So this is the experimental result and discussion in which we operate the panel with a maximum MPP as 1000 watt per meter square, and we could see by the incremental conductance MPPT algorithm that we designed, the maximum power extracted is 07.2 out of out of 16010 watt, so 1610 watt. So therefore the efficiency is more than 99%, and the and so another irradiance we have also covered, that is 800 watt per meter square, and we could see that the experimental result during the steady state with nonlinear load. These are the waveforms we obtained for the grid current and grid voltage and load current. So these are the steady state values. And these are the parameters of the grid and load side at steady state, where we can see the power loss in the inverter is 58.15 watt, that is 16707 with the extracted power, and this is the power that is delivered to the grid. So therefore remaining is the loss that is happening in the inverter. Thus the efficiency of the proposed controller is 96.2%. And the grid current is also maintained sinusoidal. And here the nonlinear load with steady state behavior, the TSD of the grid current has been reduced to 0.722%. And the load current TSD is quite high. It is 26.435. So the dynamic response during irradiance change to 800 watt per meter square. We also noticed the voltage and current waveforms, and these are the grid side and load side parameters. So the observation is that as the irradiance reduces to 800 watt per meter square, the PV power reduces, resulting in reduced power injection to the grid. And these are the waveforms obtained to the when we change the irradiance to 800 watt per meter square. The IPV, the grid current, has been reduced because of reduction in the irradiance to 800 watt per meter square, and grid current also reduced. And the VPV reduces as it depends upon the irradiance. And VTX reduces, and negative sign indicates the power injection to the grid. So this is the result that we obtain with zero irradiance. The left side figures indicate the voltage and current, the grid voltage and current, and the right side one is the grid side and load side parameters. We could see here that as the irradiance falls to zero, the grid fulfills the active power demand of the load. So the grid current becomes positive and in phase with the grid voltage. And this is the dynamic response. The VDC, that is the dislink voltage, and PV current and grid current, load current, and these are the grid current and the VPV and VTX during this zero irradiance condition. We could see that the VSC compensates the harmonic zero, there is no irradiance, and VTX is negative to positive, indicating power is being delivered by the grid. And this is the dynamic behavior during the unbalanced nonlinear load condition connected at the point of common coupling. And the left side figures demonstrate the voltage, grid voltage, grid current, load current. And here we have the grid side and load side parameters. And as the load in the phase C is disconnected, the grid current remain is balanced. Here the injected grid current increases since active power demand of the load reduces. So this is the dynamic response with the unbalanced nonlinear load. As phase C load is disconnected, the grid current increases. And here the error signal and VX becomes zero since phase C load is disconnected. and Vx is not zero here since there is a load demand by other two phases. And then no change in is seen in VPV since it is independent of the load. So VTX increases since more power is injected to the grid. And the summary of this work is that the variable step size adaptive algorithm based controller, we verified its efficacy in the same three conditions: the nonlinear load, unbalanced load, and during variable irradiance. That is, irradiance changes from 1000 to 800 and 0 watts per meter square. And we compare its efficiency with respect to some of the very known adaptive algorithms like least mean fourth, variable leaky LMS, and modified leaky LMS algorithm. And both the simulation and experimental results show that the dynamic response of the proposed variable step size leaky LMS algorithm is better than the least mean fourth and variable leaky LMS and modified leaky LMS based adaptive control algorithms. Oscillation in filter weights and TSD in the grid current in case of the proposed algorithm-based controller is found to be lower than the rest of the adaptive controllers like LMF, VLLMS, and LMS and modified leaky LMS algorithms. And TSD of the grid current has been reduced to 2.722%, which is well within the standards prescribed by the IEEE 519 grid code. So having improve this convergence and improving this the TSD. Now it is further to improve the performance, a leaky factor along with a variable step size is taken into account in this proposed controller. What we do here, we basically introduce a leaky factor along with the variable step size in the adaptive algorithm, and we develop this controller. So what we do here, we modified the cost function like this. That is J alpha equal to 1 by alpha L SL. That is 1 by alpha L into 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus alpha into JEL, where the weight of the fundamental active component in phase A, that is VXA, equal to, it is the adaptation algorithm where this, the weight adaptation takes into account this factor S XA, where these we compute this error signal here EXL, and we have this alpha L is like this. So by using this SL is defined here. Okay, SL is this one by e to the power this one. So we compute this, we update these active components, filter components. So this is the corresponding. So we measure these load currents. We get VXA. These are the weights, three weights, A, B, C phases, and this is the corresponding block diagram of the sigmoid, the leaky factor and the adaptive, like the convergence, factor introduced adaptive algorithms. And what we do here is that we simulate this algorithm, the same 10 kilowatt PV system and 3.2 kilowatt nonlinear load with diode bridge rectifier RL load, steady state behavior, nonlinear load, and dynamic behavior of the variable irradiance. And we also consider the unbalanced and nonlinear loads. We have considered these are the system parameters: scaling factor in the active scaling factor, reactive scaling factor, step size, leakage factor, and we have the indirect parameter for the stiffness, and we have the sampling time the same as previous. And what we did is we implemented this algorithm for 800 watt per meter square when it has dropped down to 800 watt per meter square. We could see that time t equal to 0.5 second, the irradiance changed to 800 watt per meter square, and it is maintained until 0.55 second. The available power from the PV gets reduced to 10.2 to 8.16. Okay. And therefore the active power injected to the grid reduces from 7 to 4.96 kilowatt. So this is the active power that reduced. And grid current is reduced, but is 180 degree out of phase here, implying the power is being injected to the grid. and the grid reactive power is 0, indicating unit power factor operation. So at t equal to 0.6 second, the irradiance is changed to 0 from 1000 watt per meter square, and IPV drops to 0, therefore, and PV power becomes 0, and therefore the active power delivered by the grid is 3.2 kilowatt. The entire load power is supplied by the grid, and the inverter is able to mitigate the load harmonics, and VPV drops to 0 as irradiance is changed to 0 watt per meter square. And the VTX changes from negative to positive value, indicating power is being delivered by the grid. See the simulation result that we obtain for the dynamic behavior with unbalanced nominal load. At t equal to 0.55 second, phase C load is disconnected. As a matter of fact, the load demand reduces, leading to more power is being injected to the grid. And the inverter current, which was previously balanced, now becomes unbalanced. And error component and weight component of phase C is 0, since phase C load current is 0. And no change is seen in the PV for feed forward current, since it does not depend upon the load. Now, this is the comparison of the oscillation in the weights in the active component. So here we could see the proposed one, that is the black curve. It has the, this one is the minimum one. Okay, no less oscillation, and then the TSD also reduced to 2.53%. So this is the experimental result in which we considered two cases. One is 1000 watt per meter square. The second one is 800 watt per meter square irradiance. And the extracted power is 1608.9 watt out of 1610 watt. And this is the experimental result that we obtained during the steady state with balanced load. And what we see here, of course, nominal load, nominal load. Now here, what happens? The power loss in this voltage source converter is 48.6 watt. So that means it supplies 1608. Extracted is this, and this is the supplied power. Thus, the efficiency of the proposed system, the grid connected system, is 97%. And grid current remains sinusoidal, and the unit power factor is achieved. And this is the figure that the TSD of the grid current has been reduced to 2.53%. 2.53%. Okay, and 2.53%. And load current, you could see the TSD of the load current is 26.36%. So this is the experimental result during the dynamic response during the irradiance change from 800 to 1000 to 800 watt per meter square. So this is the voltage of the grid at A phase, C phase, and C phase grid current, load current, and we have the C phase load current, and the grid side and load side parameters are measured, and we could see that the irradiance, when it falls to 800 watt per meter square, the PV power reduces, resulting in the reduced power injection to the grid, and grid current also reduces. This is the waveforms. These are the waveforms during the irradiance change to 800 watt per meter square. So the IPV reduced and grid current reduces, and also we have the VPV reduces, and also we have the VTX reduces, and the negative sign indicates power injection to the grid. And this is the response during the zero irradiance. So it is very similar to that, but here the active power, the entire load power, is made by the grid, and grid current positive and in phase with the grid voltage. So this is the set of waveforms that we obtained with zero irradiance, and the left side one is the DC-link voltage, PV current, and grid current, load current. And this is the grid current and the the load current, and we have VPV and VTX. So as the irradiance decreases to 0, So the IPV grid, when the photovoltaic panel current PV becomes zero, and grid which was supplying power to the starts delivering power to the load. So now taking so instead of power receiving from the PV, now it is supplying power to the load, and the harmonics is mitigated, and the VPV drops to zero because the irradiance is zero. VTX changes negative to positive, meaning the power is delivered by the grid. And this is the unbalanced load dynamic response. During unbalanced load, the dynamic response. And as phase is disconnected, grid current remains balanced. Injected grid current increases since active power demand of the load reduces. And here the THD, you know, the uh, the THD of the grid current has been IRMS, the THD, yeah, 2.558. The grid current, load current, and the error signal, and these O8 filter weights. And phase C load is disconnected, the grid current increases, and these are the different loss components. And we could see that as phase C load is disconnected, the grid current increases, and the error signal and VXC becomes zero since phase C load is disconnected. VAX is not zero since load demand by the other two phases are there, and no change in the VPV signal as it is independent of the load. VTX increases since more power is injected to grid. Okay. The summary is that we verified this algorithm for different operations, non-linear loads, unbalanced load, and changing the irradiance 800 and 0, and compare the performance with other adaptive filter-based algorithms. And simulation experiment result show that the dynamic response of the proposed controller is better than the LMF and the modified leak LMS and other kind, filtering algorithms. Oscillation in the filter weights and the THD of the grid current is lower than the least mean force modified leaky and other adaptive filter-based controllers. THD of the grid current has been reduced 2.53%, which is well within the standard of IEEE 519. So the conclusion is that the proposed control algorithms perform well during dynamic changes in the load and environmental conditions, maintaining the grid current sinusoidal balance and at unit power factor with THD of grid currents. Those remain within the IEEE 51 standards. And the modified leaky LMS based adaptive filtering based control performs better than the conventional leaky LMS based and least mean force based adaptive control. And THD of the grid current reduced to 2.923 percentage, while the THD of the load current is 26.432 percentage. And the variable step size based adaptive algorithm control performs better than the least mean force algorithm, variable leak LMS and modified leak LMS algorithm in terms of better convergence, less steady state error, robustness against impulsive noises, lesser oscillation in weights, and the power quality is improved by lowering the grid current to 2.722% THD. And the sigmoid based adaptive algorithm then that performs better than the modified leaky and least mean force, and in terms of better convergence, less steady state error, and robustness against impulsive noises and lesser oscillations in weights, and the THD is reduced to 2.53%. If you compare all the three proposed algorithms, that is the modified leaky LMS and robust, the variable step size leaky algorithm and the sigmoid based algorithm, you could see their complexity in terms of multiplication is is reduced drastically from MLA, the modified leaky, to BSS based to the sigmoid based adaptive filtering based controllers. And the oscillation in the weights is high in the first one, that is modified leaky LMS algorithm, and it is medium in case of the variable step size 1 and the low in case of the sigmoid 1. And the total harmonic distortion achieved in case of the modified leaky 3%. In case of the variable step size 2.72%. In case of the sigmoid waste, it is 2.53%. So the conclusion here is that this control will play a major role in enabling renewable integration. Grid integration of renewable energy will be an increasingly important and difficult. Many opportunities are there for designing more advanced controllers, adaptive controllers by employing adaptive filtering algorithms. So these are some of the references. So thanks to my PhD student Abhishek Perida, who performed this work during his PhD. Thanks to DST Government of India for providing the research funding for pursuing this work. Thank you very much. Any question?
Any question from the participation in any queries? Is there any queries from the participation end? Participant end. Okay, so I think there is no query from their end. Thank you, sir, for giving a very beautiful presentation to among with us, sharing with us. Okay, so also I'm very thankful that you are giving valuable time with having your very busy schedule. Okay, so thank you, sir, and I'm also requesting Prabhat sir to say something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Okay. So may I log off now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.